where is the biggest cost in the price of a gallon of fuel? It's the feedstock or the raw material. If you can solve waste problems, can you lock up that raw material for free? Yes, you can. If you can get that for free, can you be the low-cost producer of fuel? Yes, you can.
Well, that's one of the reasons why the people who care about the environment are upset with the first-generation biofuels companies as well, right? Because they're cutting down rainforest in order to grow.
And they're driving up food prices. And so we're considered really a second-use feedstock, whereas the fats, oils, and greases that we convert into biodiesel really have no other use. They're being landfilled or incinerated or otherwise disposed of today.
So are you in the fuel business or in the waste, remediation, or what would you call it?
So we view ourselves really as a wastewater treatment or remediation company with biofuel or biodiesel as a revenue-generating byproduct that we use not only to continue to drive the company forward and give great returns to investors, but also to incent those that have those waste streams through a profit share to give us those waste streams, for 10 years.
So what attracted DFJ to invest in these folks originally?
So DFJ was a very early investor in clean energy, and we think about clean energy as scarce resources. And so we've looked at a whole host of different areas where we're trying to identify how to better extend scarce resources and solve some of those problems fundamentally. One of the exciting things that we thought about BioFuelBox was really fundamentally about that feedstock and the opportunity to take advantage of eliminating waste on a fully distributed, localized basis. So waste is expensive to get rid of, it's messy, and it's fundamentally local. It's distributed all over the United States, and it's a local business, and folks have to figure out hairy ways of trying to get rid of it. And so it was exciting to be able to take what is fundamentally a waste product and a problem and solve it by turning it into in this case, a scarce resource, which is a fuel solution. And we had looked at a lot of those first-generation solution sets like ethanol and passed on that because it seemed to exacerbate the fundamental challenge of scarce resource and scarcity versus trying to identify how to solve those problems and diversify our energy inputs. So that was a driver.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd just like to add one thing to what Jennifer touched on, localized energy production, which I alluded to in the beginning. We've not built large centralized plants. What we've done is we've created a biofuel box. It's actually a set of boxes now that are co-located at the waste stream. So co-located in industrial food locations where they have fats, oils, and greases coming through the wastewater stream, or municipalities. So we localize that energy production, and as part of doing that, not only do we lower the cost, but we also eliminate transportation issues associated with putting carbon into the air to move liquids around.
So do you have one installed anywhere now?
We have our first fully scaled plant nearly installed up in Idaho, taking fats, oils, and greases from a potato food processing plant and converting it into biodiesel.
French fried potatoes?
French fries, hash browns.
I remember that in college.
Yeah, and it's contaminated with things like sand because it's the grease that hit the wastewater stream, so it's not pure yellow grease.
So it takes that, goes in this collection of boxes, and out comes diesel that just
road
runs
quality,
in.
Low sulfur biodiesel.
And when that gets up to full production, that set of boxes, that plant, if you will, how much diesel will that be?
1 million gallons a year per set of boxes. So we could scale it up by adding an additional set if the waste streams.
I got it.
So, but I want to pause on a really critical point that Steve pointed out about this, which is this is a local, taking local waste and turning it into diesel or biofuel at a local level. And one of the things many folks don't appreciate about the fuel business is that when you see prices of barrel of oil going up and down, and it's fundamentally a commodity, when you think about it and how they trade futures and all the stuff that they write about in the New York Times. But the challenge is that when you're talking about trying to deliver fuel to distributed regional locations, Idaho, Colorado, New Mexico, there's expensive transportation to bring them from a cheap port like Oakland or LA and getting that into those communities. And so actually the most expensive gas to deliver is often in some of the more remote and distributed areas of the United States or other parts of the world. And so when you talk about what BioFuelBox is trying to accomplish, where they're taking a local waste stream and eliminating that and then providing the fuel at that locale, you're actually eliminating two problems, which is that challenge of bringing in an expensive commodity into that region, but also eliminating that local source. And the cost effectiveness of that is also the sort of the nice little benefit that comes as a result.
Right, and how do you make money? So what's the business model?
Selling fuel. We're a fuel company. We're owners and operators of these plants. One of the other things we recognized was that the producers of this waste material, they didn't want to become a biodiesel company. They didn't want to have to change. It's not their core business. So the potato processor didn't want to become a fuel company. So instead, we just make it easy to say yes. We cover all the capital cost. We staff it. We run it. We sell the fuel, and we simply profit share back.